I am up and down. Obviously, going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing. You know, sometimes, you know, you're cool. You know what I mean? You move in, you mix in, you move in, and you're hanging out with friends. But then sometimes you have your moments of sadness.
It's a work in progress. Are we working at it?
We working at it.
That's fair.
Even though I do feel you're opportunist.
What do you think I'm getting out of it?
What you getting out of it?
This doesn't impress me. This
It might
house,
not
this house, none of this
but the
impresses
woman
me.
itself,
Oh,
look.
I love her to death.
Well, you're going to have to prove that to me now. I got my, and I got people that they get back to.
I can live with that at least if I know it and I get it from you and I get it from everybody else.
My main concern, Candace says she don't know at what time that I stopped liking you. I didn't stop liking you. I stopped respecting you.
Say, no matter what Todd and I are going through, we are parents together. We are co-parenting together. We have beautiful children together. So we are trying to make this transition as smooth as it can possibly be for our kids.
He introduced Kandi to Todd.
Mm-hmm.
I told her I could have choked her.
All these lawyers and everything else that you know, you going to introduce her to one of the workers? Yeah, that's why I could choke you right now.
The artists that are hits.
Like who?
Give us some.
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, TLC, NSYNC.
I mean, are you kidding? What's your favorite song that you ever wrote?
That's a tough one. I mean, I have a lot of them that I love. I mean, I guess No Scrubs is the one that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
because
sure
even
does.
with No Scrubs, it played off into Ed Sheeran's song "Shape of You," which makes me right on that song.
When a reality TV power couple calls it quits, the internet usually shrugs. But when Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker hit the breakup button, the entire entertainment world shook like Mama Joyce hearing the words joint account. 1 minute Kandi is trying to hold her peace, her businesses, and her sanity together. The next, the streets are on fire with theories hotter than a candy-coated night out. Suddenly we're asking, did the open marriage rumors get a little too open? Did Todd wander? Did Mama Joyce meddle? Or did long-distance living turn their marriage into a costly situationship with occasional benefits? Because let's be honest, between the once-a-week intimacy confessions, the financial imbalance, and a mother-in-law who has never met a boundary she won't bulldoze, this divorce has more potential plot twists than an entire season of RHOA. And now that legal documents, custody chatter, and money moves are leaking faster than old tea on Twitter, one thing is clear. This split didn't happen overnight. It's been simmering for years. The moment Kandi Burruss opened her mouth and admitted she'd been riding an emotional roller coaster, fans felt the shift. One day, she's putting on a brave face, working, traveling, keeping it cute. The next, she's quietly confessing that divorce has turned her world upside down. And just like that, the internet exploded because Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker are officially done, and this breakup is already shaping up to be one of the messiest, most talked about splits reality TV has ever seen. Overnight, the streets started buzzing louder than Mama Joyce at a family reunion, trying to piece together what really pushed this once power couple over the edge. Was it the years of whispers about an open marriage that allegedly stretched a little too far? Did one of those third-party experiments create more complications than chemistry? Or are the cheating rumors circling Todd just a convenient storyline fans revived the second the divorce hit the blogs? And then there's the money, because let's be real, whenever a multi-millionaire divorces someone who earns significantly less, the word alimony starts trending before the ink even dries. Add that to the fact that Kandi and Todd spent more time in different cities than the same house, practically living in a long-distance situationship held together by FaceTime and weekend meetups. And suddenly this split feels less like a shock and more like an inevitable plot twist we all saw simmering for years. Throw Mama Joyce into the equation, a woman who has never kept quiet about her suspicions, side-eye, or accusations, and the stakes skyrocket even higher. Between the prenup, the money on the line, The rumors, the lifestyle clashes, and the emotional toll of co-parenting under a microscope. This isn't just a breakup. This is a multi-million-dollar unraveling of a marriage that's been surviving drama since day one. And everyone wants to know exactly what finally snapped. Now that the news is officially out, the real question everybody's asking is the same one buzzing through every group chat, comment section, and shady Twitter thread. What really happened between Kandi and Todd? Because this divorce isn't giving sudden heartbreak. It's giving slow burn drama, finally hitting its boiling point. And the theories? Oh, they're multiplying faster than Mama Joyce's reasons to dislike Todd. Some fans swear the open marriage arrangement was the hidden fuse, claiming that keeping the bedroom adventurous might have invited more chaos than connection. Others believe the cheating rumors, which have popped up on and off for years, finally hit a point where Kandi said, absolutely not. Then there's the financial angle, one of the messiest theories floating around. Todd allegedly wanting alimony, the income gap between them, and whispers that he might have been depending a little too heavily on Kandi-coded money to keep things moving. And let's not ignore the fans who insist that distance destroyed the relationship long before lawyers enter the chat. Two people living in two different states, juggling two different lifestyles, barely syncing schedules except for high-stress work trips and rushed weekends. That's a relationship held together with duct tape and wishful thinking. But the messiest theory of all? Mama Joyce. Because the internet is convinced she has been stirring this pot since day one. And some are even saying she finally got the ending she's been predicting for over a decade. Yet the real tension comes from the fact that no single theory explains everything. It's like every small crack, the money, the jealousy, the intimacy gaps, the threesomes, the long-distance issues, the family drama, all piled up into one giant avalanche. And the way Kandi has carefully avoided spilling specifics, that silence is fueling the idea that there's something deeper, something more complicated, something none of us have heard yet. Whatever the truth is, fans can feel it. We're only seeing the surface, and the real story is still buried underneath, waiting to blow up. But of course, every conversation about this divorce eventually circles back to the same name, Mama Joyce. The woman who has never needed a microphone to make her disapproval known. From the moment Todd entered Kandi's life, Mama Joyce treated him like a walking red flag wrapped in a production headset. Her infamous digs, calling him an opportunist, accusing him of chasing Kandi's money, even hinting that his own family background looked questionable, have lived rent-free in fans' heads for years. And who could forget the way she side-eyed Todd's entire existence during wedding planning? Or how she practically staged a one-woman protest over that prenup. To be fair, she wasn't always screaming or causing chaos. Sometimes it was the quiet comments, the lingering looks, the barely there shade that did the most damage. Over time, her constant skepticism created a storm cloud over the marriage that never really lifted. Even moments meant to be joyful, baby showers, family dinners, celebrations, were marked by tension so thick you could slice it with one of the old lady gang knives. And while Kandi always tried to balance loving her husband and protecting her mother's feelings, that tightrope act may have slowly weakened the foundation of her marriage. It wasn't one big blow-up. It was the years of side-eye, suspicion, and subtle sabotage that might have worn everyone down until something finally snapped. And now that the divorce paperwork is out in the world, the legal and financial fallout is shaping up to be a whole storyline of its own. The prenup, the same document that nearly derailed their wedding years ago, is back at center stage. Yes, it protects everything Kandi had before the marriage. The houses, the companies, the royalties, the empire. But fans are buzzing about the other side of it, the assets accumulated during the marriage, the joint ventures, the income earned while they were together. And Todd's reported decision not to file first? That rumor sparked instant chatter, especially after it was suggested he might be considering alimony. With Kandi earning significantly more and Todd, supposedly, without stable housing after selling his New Jersey place. The financial imbalance is suddenly under a magnifying glass. It doesn't help that alimony cases in Georgia tend to favor the spouse who makes less, which opens the door to a legal showdown that could get very expensive very fast. And then there's the whisper that Todd may pursue full custody, even though Kandi requested joint custody. That alone could turn this split from complicated to downright explosive. Fans are already predicting a courtroom saga filled with emotional testimony, financial disclosures, and maybe even a few surprise witnesses. Because if the money wasn't messy enough, the custody angle is poised to become the next major plot twist. To understand how everything unraveled, you have to rewind the clock to where it all began. Back in 2011, the sparks started flying in the most housewives way possible. During a RHOA production trip to South Africa, Todd was working behind the scenes, doing his job, trying to keep things professional, until he couldn't ignore the chemistry. Kandi felt it too, and the timing made it all feel like fate, especially after a healer told her she'd be seeing wedding bells soon and that her future husband was already in the room. It was a moment straight out of a romantic telemovie. They dated, they got engaged, they married, and for a while it seemed like they were building something solid, blending families, buying properties, launching restaurants, producing shows, expanding their empire. But as the years went on, their careers pulled them in different directions. Kandi was everywhere at once, filming, touring, writing, producing, overseeing businesses. Todd was running projects too, but the distances between their schedules kept growing. Soon, they were spending more nights apart than together, relying on calls, quick visits, and rushed weekends to maintain their connection. And although they tried, the long-distance rhythm eventually took a toll, one that no amount of romance, communication, or healer's prophecy could fully fix. And then there's the chapter of their relationship that fans still can't stop dissecting: the openness. Kandi has always been candid about her fluidity and her comfort with exploring outside the traditional boundaries of marriage. She's mentioned on her own platforms that she and Todd occasionally invited third parties into the bedroom, a detail that instantly ignited fan theories. Some believe that these experiences blurred lines that were never fully put back in place. Others think the arrangement may have added pressure to a marriage already stretched thin by distance and differing lifestyles. When rumors started circulating about a specific woman possibly being involved, fueled by photos, trips, and social media breadcrumbs, the internet did what it always does: connect dots that may or may not be connected at all. But whether the speculation was accurate or not, the public conversation around their bedroom life became its own source of tension. It created a narrative that followed them everywhere, a kind of background noise about boundaries, jealousy, and trust. And even though nothing was ever confirmed beyond what they themselves shared, the whispers never fully went away. In a marriage already juggling money, schedules, family drama, and two big personalities, the extra layer of openness may have added complexity that eventually became too much to manage. And then there's the clash nobody wants to admit was always lurking in the background: the career imbalance. Because while Kandi has been building companies, producing TV, dropping music, opening restaurants, and practically running an entire multimedia empire, Todd's journey hasn't been quite as meteoric. Now, he's worked. No one could say he hasn't. Producing shows, managing projects, trying to get passion ventures off the ground. But next to Kandi's never-ending list of wins, it created an uncomfortable contrast the public never stopped talking about. And every time Mama Joyce called him an opportunist, even if unfair or exaggerated, it planted another seed that just refused to die. Over the years, the narrative grew legs. The idea that Todd's career wasn't matching Kandi's velocity, that he wasn't keeping up, that maybe he was benefiting more than he was contributing. Whether that perception was real or simply internet myth, it created a subtext: ambition imbalance, respect issues, pressure from family, and external voices constantly poking holes in their dynamic. And for a couple already juggling fame, money, and blended families, those whispers turned into tension, and that tension slowly seeped into everything they did. When you step back and look closely, the breakup almost feels less like a shock and more like a slow-motion unraveling. The distance, working in different states, flying back and forth, living separate lives Monday through Friday, chipped at the foundation. The scheduling conflicts, the late nights, the missed moments, they stacked up. Emotional disconnect started creeping in, the kind you don't notice until it's already sitting between you at dinner. And the intimacy? Even they admitted it had become a struggle, something they try to protect, then repair, then revive. Kandi has spoken openly about stress, about praying through problems, about trying to hold everything together when she felt the weight pulling her in 10 different directions. Behind the success, behind the cameras, behind the brand, there was a woman trying to save a marriage that was running out of glue. It wasn't explosive, it was heartbreaking. An ending that felt inevitable long before lawyers got involved. Because the cracks weren't sudden, they were quiet, persistent, and impossible to ignore forever. When the paperwork finally dropped, it confirmed what fans had been whispering for weeks. The separation was listed, the custody terms laid out, the request for joint parenting established. No dramatic custody grabs, no scorched earth demands, at least not yet. What stood out most was the tone. Kandi emphasizing peace, stability, and protection for her kids. She knows the cameras are watching, the blogs are circling, and every line of every document is being dissected in real time. And even though the filings are factual, not emotional, they carry the weight of a relationship that's been lived publicly for over a decade. Todd's housing situation, the financial disclosures, the prenup details, all of it setting up the next wave of speculation. It's official, it's real, and it's moving forward. But even in the middle of the storm, Kandi stands firm on one point. The children come first. And that gives this chapter a surprisingly grounded human heartbeat, one that makes the drama sting even more. And here's where things get truly wild. Even with all this information, the biggest questions remain unanswered. There are pieces missing, gaps in the timeline, hints in their interviews, tension in their body language that fans swear they noticed long before the announcement. Court filings could reveal more. The cast of The Real Housewives of Atlanta will absolutely have something to say. And you know Mama Joyce is somewhere polishing a monologue that will break the internet the second she drops it. This story isn't over, not even close. We're in the calm before the next round of revelations, reactions, and receipts. So buckle up, because if this divorce is already this messy in week one, imagine what's coming when the cameras roll, the lawyers talk, and the truth finally starts spilling out. Let the theories begin, because this is only the beginning of the real drama.